Good afternoon, guys. Pastor P here. I want to welcome you to our Sunday afternoon with Poiema to give you a few things to ponder on before you start a brand new week. Just know that we've been certainly lifting you up as in the last couple of weeks and different things that have transpired and going on in your community and your families and in the weather. Oh my goodness. Different folks dealing with all kinds of things across the nation, and just know that our hearts are pouring out and pouring with yours to help meet those needs. And so I just want you to know today that you matter and that you are certainly loved without limit. Please know that. If anyone that touches base with us needs to talk about that a little bit more or wants to share in their struggles, don't ever hesitate to contact us. Okay. This last month, we've been focusing on the things that we think about. Been encouraging you to think about what you think about, because goodness knows in the media, I mean, you don't have to go very far at all, whether it be social media, news media, talking with friends and family and people in the community. There's a lot of folks out there that are trying to influence your thinking. And we learned that our words, in January, we focused on how powerful our words are. And this month we've been focusing on how powerful our thoughts are and what's generated between our own ears and what's going on there. The scripture says in Proverbs 23:7, as one thinks in their heart, so are they. If you're thinking on negative stuff, baby, you're going to be negative. If you're thinking on hate, hate's not far from you. If you're thinking on joy, joy is right there. If you're thinking on the struggle will be thinking on you. If you're thinking on whatever that thing is that you're giving energy to, because whatever you focus on, where your focus goes, your energy flows in that area. And so if you're consumed by current events, that's right where your energy is going to go. So when there are folks that don't agree with you, or even there's folks that love you madly, if you're just focused on the negativity or the happenings of the world, and then they're not responding to that, don't be surprised. Because as one thinks in their heart, as one meditates on, that very word, I looked it up, it says to split open, to calculate, to consider, to ponder, to reckon with. That particular scripture, Proverbs 23:7, as one thinks in their heart, as one ponders on, as one calculates, as one reckons, as one deals with between their ears. I could tell a whole lot about what you're dealing with by your personality, what you bring on, what you bring out of you. Because where your focus goes, your energy will flow. Where you're focused on negativity is what's going to happen. If you're focused on positive things are going to happen. As one thinks in their heart, so are they. Not maybe one day, so are they. Okay? And so that's why it's so important to reel your thought, reel them in. Like if things start getting out there, reel them in. I want to draw your attention to Psalm 77. In Psalm 77, we find something that sounds a whole lot like us on the regular basis. Psalm 77, in the first verse, it says, I yell out to my God. This is a message version. It says, I yell out to my God. I yell with all my might. I yell at the top of my lungs. Does that sound like anybody? And it says, God listens. I found myself in trouble and I went looking for my Lord, and my life was an open wound that wouldn't heal. And when friends said, oh, everything will turn out all right, I didn't believe a word they said. I remembered God and I shake my head. I bow my head and then I wring my hands. I'm awake all night, not a wink of sleep. I can't even say what's bothering me. I go over the days one by one. I ponder the years that are gone by. I strum my lute all through the night, wondering how to get my life together. Now, I'm not saying this applies to you, maybe somebody you know, okay? But if we've ever found our place in life where you just can't believe what's happening, I just can't believe what's happening. You find yourself in trouble and people say, oh, it's going to be okay. This is just a short season in comparison to all of history. It's going to be okay. But yet your heart is not soothed by other people's words. And then you're just like, yeah, I know God's out there. People say, oh, bless the Lord. Remember God, go ahead and pray. And meanwhile, you're praying, but nothing's happening. You know anything about that? When you pray and nothing happens. And you're just like, God, come on now. And you say, I go over the days one by one. You start, when things have happened or you've been charged with something or words that got mishandled or misunderstood. And then you're trying to go back and think, what did I really say? What was that? What was happening? And what was it? And you ponder. And the years go by and things happen and relationships fall apart or a job falls apart or you didn't apply yourself to your purpose and you're just like, what happened? Or you put every bit of your effort into something and you didn't succeed. What happened? God. And the psalmist here says, I stayed up all night. I was just strumming the lute. I was strumming my guitar, my ukulele, just wondering, how do I get my life together? And it goes on to say, in verse 7, will the Lord walk off and leave us for good? Will God never smile again? Is God's love worn threadbare? Has God's salvation promise, has it burned out? Has God forgotten his manners? What's wrong with God? Why hasn't God answered me? Has God angrily stalked off and left us? Just my luck. I love this. Just my luck, the psalmist says. The high God retires the moment I need him. Now I'm going to switch over to the New International Version for just a second with that. Because the psalmist is just like, oh my God, God, have you rejected me? Oh my God, God, will you not show your favor? Oh my God, God, where is your love? God, don't you see me? Don't you see what I'm going through? Don't you see my illness, my sickness, my kids? Don't you see what's going on in my family? Don't you see what's going on in my job? Don't you see what's going on in my country? God. And I love verse 10. Verse 10 says, and then I thought. I stopped with all the questioning and I thought. And it says, to this I will appeal, the years when the Most High stretched out his right hand. I'll remember the deeds of the Lord. I will remember the miracles of long ago. I will consider all of God's work, and I will meditate on all God's mighty deeds. I'm going to meditate. Now, here's where the thought part comes in. A lot of times we think meditation is just about those things that we keep between our ears. But you know, the very root word of meditation, to meditate, is to utter, to speak forth. See, it calls upon us to speak forth some stuff. And so here's where our thinking and our speaking start coming into work together. Okay, yeah, I was doubting in my mind, but now let me, out of my heart, let my mouth speak what God has done for me in the past. I'm still here, so I must still have purpose. I remember when God healed me of this and that and the other. Begin to remind yourself about the things that God has done. Okay, I want to encourage you today. Remind yourself about the things that God has done. Know that your crying has not been in vain. Know that your frustration is not in vain. Please hear this. I'm not saying shut it all down. I'm saying in that place of transition, and then I remembered what God did before, and God will do it again. Know today that you are not exempt. You are not exempt from God's favor, God's love, God's outpouring, God's blessing. Know this, that nothing about you is a surprise to God. Know that. And as you read back through Psalm 77, consider all of God's work. Meditate on them night and day. Change your thinking, and you will change your life. I love you. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. Have a great week ahead. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you guys who continue to reach out and spark back on us. We just love that. I love you. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye now.